Hello, welcome folks to the Land Timber Stream. It is Wednesday night, and I'm getting close to finishing the first day of the studycation, as I call it. It's been very productive so far. I'm going to review that in a minute and just kind of show you where I'm at on, I don't know what to call it, the Monster Lab, or to call it I call it the Router Lab Collage, the big router quilt that we just keep adding on to. I don't know. I need to throw some switches in there too. Yeah, so we're just going to review that a little bit. I'm not going to really do any labbing on stream tonight. I just really haven't been up to that today, and I'll explain that in a minute. But yeah, 54 days to go. Again, my target date, or my next exam date, is New Year's Eve, December 31st, the last day of this year. So this is the 319th day of vlogging the journey, or the 319th of vlog/lab stream. And we're just using the wallpaper of the day. I tend to change those up. I used to change them manually every day. Lately, I've been enjoying the new Mojave kind of wallpapers that they're throwing out. It changes every few minutes, so it's pretty slick. Mark Milo. Hey, how's it going, Mark Milo? If you don't mind me asking, how much time on average do you dedicate towards your CCIE studies in a week? A good question. So I will say, let me try to figure that out here real quick. How much time do I study each week? On a normal week, Monday is, so we'll start with like days of the week. Monday, Wednesday, and Monday or Wednesday are long nights. So that usually means some during the day, maybe an hour or two during the day. And then usually I'll stay up till like 11 or 12. And so I'm going to say on those 7, 5. I mean, lately, this has not been my pace throughout, but I would say, you know, pre-exam scramble. Let's call it that. Because recently I cut out the number of days I go to the gym from 5 to 3. So that's why I can do longer nights, Monday and Wednesday night, because I sleep in the next morning. So that's going to be, I'm going to say 5 hours to be conservative. So that's 10. And then Tuesday and Thursday are usually short nights. And I'm going to say 3 hours to be conservative. 3 plus 3, so that's 6. Friday, it depends, but I usually get in 3 hours. We'll say 2 hours. And then Saturdays and Sundays, yeah, I mean, we're talking between 5 and like 10 hours a day. It varies. So we'll just put it at 7. So that's a total of 14. So what is that? 16, 30, 32 hours a week right now. I'd say, so I get into pre-exam scramble mode. Maybe it started like a month ago. So it's like almost a full-time job on top of my regular full-time job. So 32 hours a week, more or less. And on normal weeks, I would say it's more like 20. Standard week, let's say 20 hours. And scramble weeks, 32 hours. Yeah. Wow, there's quite some full-time work and family. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So again, this is scramble mode. So that's, I'm going to do as much as I can of that for the next, 2 months. I've been doing it about a month, but it does take a toll, and I do have some time planned off. We're going to do some family trips, short trips, but we got some family trips coming up around the holidays. So that's going to be good. And that's the nice thing about having the exam at the end of the year, because no matter what, you're going to have some family breaks in there for sure. So you can kind of, also my workload, it depends. Some years at this particular employer, some years we scramble at the end of the year and I've been able to study less. Other years we've kind of wrapped up most of our major projects and people are taking time off, so it kind of slows down until January when it just takes off again. So it kind of depends. I think this year is going to be a slow year, fortunately. Yeah, very good question, Mark Milo. Appreciate that. Yeah, so just to reiterate, these are my 60-day goals right now. I'm going to change this to pre-exam deadlines is really what this is. By November 30th, I need to finish the network lessons units 4, 5, and 6 with flashcard reviews throughout. I'll go into what I did today in a sec. And December 10th, Evolving Technologies Guide, read and review, have that done by then, yeah. And I had some feedback on Twitter, I think it was today, someone saying, yeah, they just finished reading it and they're taking the exam also very soon and that it was helpful, so that's good. Then we go into, from December, the last 2 weeks, let's see, 31st, I'm including like holiday travel time in there. So yeah, just overall kind of review, scramble, we'll do boson exams, shore up weaknesses, things like that. That's kind of my goals. Written progress today. So I have 6 days. This is first of 6 days of studycation, 2018, I call it. And it was very productive. Like I got up this morning. I think I stayed up late, too late last night. Hey, no problem. Sorry to interrupt. Are you for the following study guide? Amazon. Let me check, Mark Milo, because I need to order this. Yes, Kindle price is $120. Really? Yes, this is the book I need. I need this book. Evolving Technologies is 10% of your score, and I did really badly last time. And I was on 1.0 last time. This is 1.1. Now, the way I'd recommend getting this is not buying it on Amazon Kindle. It is included with your Safari Books Online subscription. I got the Cisco Press email with this book. Yeah, that's the one. That is the first official Cisco Press study guide for Evolving Technologies. Long overdue. And that is because, yeah, hey, no problem, Mark Milo. That's been on my mind. It's on my to-do list to go ahead and buy that. But let me pull up a link I had created. We can play some music, by the way. I spent some time just in the background listening to some music and found some pretty good stuff that's free and does not require citation. That's not the word. Doesn't require. Hey, Dalwin401, good to see you in the chat. Our newest subscriber, thank you so much. O'Reilly, that might be it. So the link I'm looking for is, there is a way, and I learned this through Router Gods. Like last year, I learned about this. There's an organization that you can join, acm.org. So you can buy a membership, like a 1-year membership, Association for Computing Machinery. And I'd have to look at the details and make sure that I'm telling you still the truth, but the last post I saw on this, which has been a few months, but that you can become a member, pay the fee, which is like $90, and you get as part of that, you get a Safari Books Online subscription included with your membership. Let's just double check that. Membership, about membership. Membership benefits. Yeah, so you get the Learning Center, and that has resources for life. So whichever membership you get access to online books from Safari, Morgan Kaufman, Singress, Skillsoft, ACM Digital Library. Well, I'm sold, yeah. Print subscription, online subscription to their magazine, which... Ubiquity? Oh, really? Is that what I'm thinking it is? Ubiquity. Discounts on books. So yeah, this is hey, no problem, Dalwin 401. Like I said, I got this from Router Gods, and Dude for Him mentioned it again recently, so it must still, obviously this is still a case. And again, the membership, I need to just go ahead and do this tonight. I let my other Safari Books Online membership lapse. Sort of sounds like only the video books produced by Skillsoft are included. Interesting. Well, I have it on pretty good. If y'all want, and you're not sure, feel free to hold off, because I am probably going to sign up for this tonight. But I think Dude for Him mentioned it to me recently, that he has this, I believe, I could be misspeaking, but that he had this subscription and that he was able to see the book. It's already available. Like, that Evolving Technology study guide has been for sale since October, but they were actually unable to deliver. There was some issue with fulfillment on Amazon. Let me know if you don't mind Discord with the results. I will, absolutely. But yeah, for me, it's just worth getting access to that book, because I could start working on it like now. So yeah, I'll let you all know. This is like really high on my priority list. I'll probably do it either tonight or tomorrow, and I'll let you know how that goes. So yeah, that's in my goals. Written progress. So as I mentioned today, I got through, where is Network Lessons? Oh, here it is. My goal was to complete MPLS L3 VPN, and I'm almost done. I'm on the last lesson. So I got through BGP, RIP, EIGRP, and OSPF today, and VRF light route leaking. And a lot of this was review, but there was some new knowledge acquired today. I'm curious what Safari library is. I'm going to check it out. Oh, Dalwin 401. If you've never used it, like, I've had a subscription before. The last time I renewed it, which is a little over a year ago, and I had found a coupon. They had a promotion, and in fact, generally towards the end of the year, they have a promotion. But again, joining that organization is probably the best deal. According to a lot of other like CCIEs, that is actually the best deal to get access to it. And it has basically all the Cisco Press books online. As a matter of fact, I have a reading list, a not so official LAN tamer CCIE route switch reading list, and most of it are books. All but one, I think, are available on Safari Books Online. If you go to the GitHub, in my notes repo, I have a reading list here somewhere. Links? No, I haven't official links. Well, I got bookmarks out of the boat with all the books from Safari Books. Yeah. It's keeping track of where you are. And you know that they're trying to branch out and expand it and include videos and video courses now. And they're trying to stay competitive. So many people are providing content these days. Where is my... Recently, I had another book, OSPF Anatomy. Oh, see, they have so many good books out there. Let me go back to the Google Drive share, which I have not been to in a while. I've pretty much got everything off of the Google Drive share. By the way, I've learned that a lot of what Google and these other, like Twitter, a lot of what they use on the back end are some of these open source tools. I'm learning about like some of the same stuff they're using at my company, right? Like, Elasticsearch and highly scalable. Well, Git kind of came out of that. And so to me, Google Drive, Google Docs, a lot of that stuff, the way the file system works reminds me a lot of Git. So anyway, yeah, I have a reading list here. Book list, here we go. So these are books that I have relied on heavily throughout my studies. These 3 books I read cover to cover. And here is where you can get them. Or my source. Here's a Safari Books Online link. So, Mark, let's see, who was it? Yeah, Dow 1401. This gives you an idea. Pretty much most of these books, Practical BGP, MPLS Configuration, the CCI Routing and Switching V50 Official Certification Guide, Volumes 1 and 2. All these are available with your Safari Books Online subscription. It is the way to go, for sure. You can go out and buy all these books, and I have bought some of these books, even though they're available on Safari. But I want to be able to cancel Safari from time to time and just be able to haul a book around on an airplane or something. But anyway, so that's the topic of books. That is available out on the Google Drive share. So I think Safari Books just added a new Multicast course to their library. Not from the author, but supposedly he is good. Yeah, that would probably... Multicast. The world is in need of more Multicast instruction. And I'm going to be honest with you. Recently I did a vlog on this when I was going over Multicast. And the network lessons on Multicast is one of the best explanations of Multicast, easiest to understand that I have ever, material that I've ever reviewed. And I said that after I read it, and I stick by that. So the networklessons.com Multicast is explained. Like, I've heard so many different explanations of how Multicast works, but the network lessons blew a lot of them out of the water. Like, just in a few, first few minutes, it's like, why hasn't anyone kind of explained it this way before? And maybe they have, and I just didn't get it. I don't know, but man, it was really good. So yeah, that book list, let me get it for you here in a moment. It's actually in the Google Drive share there, if you're interested in reviewing that. So yeah, I'm almost done with this, and several times a day I thought, let me go ahead and stream some of these labs. But I don't know, I was just, I did not sleep well last night. Like, I didn't get a lot of sleep. I stayed up late, and then I got up early, and instead of going back to bed, which I should have done, I was so excited. Like, early this morning, I just got up and started working on this. And now I'm tired, and I kind of regret it. But I got really far, and that's why I didn't really feel like streaming. But I will probably stream tomorrow. You're very welcome, Downwind 401. I will likely stream some of the, and so tomorrow I hope to hit GRE and start DMVPN in earnest. And again, I may not lab a lot of this because I have labbed all this stuff at least twice, like each phase. But I may choose selectively a couple of these just to review. I don't feel super strong in DMVPN, but I don't feel super weak either. So that is on the agenda for tomorrow. And I hope to get by Friday or Saturday, I hope to get to this tunneling. And by the end of the weekend, I want to finish. I don't know if I'm going to work hard. I want to finish VPN. Not the weekend. I have Monday off as well. So by Tuesday, I want to get all these lessons done. So that's where we're at. Lab build projects. So again, I'm just doing this. I've kind of put this on the back burner, but as I do labs, this has been fun. This is actually sometimes just kind of keeping me going when there's a lab I don't really want to do, but it's made fun just from the fact that, you know, I can keep building my blanket here, and I can keep crocheting onto the edges of this big blanket. Right now we're up to 30. Last router I put in was router 32. This is running. These are all running. These are blue because they're running. And they're running in Azure. And the virtual machine is not blinked. Like the highest I've seen so far is it spiked up to average CPU utilization of around 40%. Now that's average. I don't have like the really fine metrics turned on. I may do that tomorrow. But yeah, I've added a lot because today I did some MPLS. I added several MPLS things in here. So yeah, this has been fun. I'm going to keep building on this, and I need to introduce a few switches here and there. But the next lab I do, which is MPLS VRF route leaking, I'm going to add probably 4 more routers here tonight. But this has been fun. I do need a way. I did spin up last night a Windows 10 VM. My thinking was I would use TFTP, but what happens is this may be a shortcoming of this running in Azure. I'm not sure. But whenever I boot up all these routers, the interfaces are shut down. Like I have to do no shut. So doing that on 30 routers is not fun. So what I've been doing is just doing them as I have to access the router. I'll do a no shut on all the interfaces. But yeah, I'm looking for a more automated way to do that with maybe this is a community edition thing. I don't know. Maybe it's the way I set up the networking. Anyway, if you have any clues on that, let me know. But I did deploy a Windows VM. It's not running right now, but a Windows 10 VM in case I want to run any utilities like TFTP or some automation tools. I don't know. We'll see. But that's where we're at on that. Quiz time. So we'll wrap things up. How does, if you are using Secure CRT, you can use a command window. Yeah, I do I use that at work. Thank you, Mark Milo. That is, when I first learned about that feature, I was like, whoa. I wish I had this years ago because that is a beautiful feature, man. I have opened up which is great in a lab, right? The problem is in my job now, we have multi-factor authentication. So for me to log on to a load balancer for an F5, for example, I have to use a token to get in. So that secure CRT doesn't really work for me in those cases, but I have in the past done a project where I had to hit 20 switches and make the same change. And one day this is going to go away because everything's going to be automated, right? We're going to be doing it via Python and Jenkins, but for now, Secure CRT is so awesome because you can go if you want to change NTP, right? you log in and you open, and with secure CRT, depending on your environment, like if they allow you to say passwords, you could left click, highlight all the switches or routers you want to connect to, hit enter. They all come up at the bottom. You open that command window, enable, figure terminal, and NTP server, whatever, boom. Puts it on all of them. That's so awesome. I love that. Anywho, good stuff. So here's our quiz for the day, and I've seen this before, and this was something that maybe I've read this before. Yeah, very useful for labs. Absolutely, Mark Milo. It's very useful for labs. The one disadvantage I will say is, and really what I need to do is get set up to use these labs with Putty, because Putty is what you get in the real lab. So I'm almost making things kind of hard for myself, to be honest, Mark Milo. Like, I've actually, by the way, I've got Wireshark figured out. Wireshark now works on the Mac, so that tool works great. So I don't know if I know this router has a lot going on. Yeah, Wireshark now works, which is great. I had to switch to using an IP address versus the full host name, because Wireshark does some sort of, or this utility that someone wrote, the Wireshark wrapper, you also have to type in the server password. So, a little bit of a bummer with the community edition, but this works. The wrapper works. And you just have to enter that password, and you have to connect to an IP address, not just a host name, so that it will connect properly. It has to do with how, whatever string it uses to connect. But what I've done here in the lab, the point I was making is, I'm deliberately trying to make this difficult. So I'm going to show you some weird stuff I put in the lab. Like normally when you're doing, let's see, so Putty with no tab feature in the real lab, probably only WordPad. That is correct. Like, you get calculator, so you could do hex conversions by, whatever. You get Putty. The other thing about Putty, Mark Milo, is you do not get highlight to copy to the clipboard, which may seem very minor, but again, you're trying to build a big lab here, right? So what you can do is you have to highlight, right-click, copy to clipboard. So it's really good to try to emulate what you're going to have in the lab, and that's actually how I have, like, I still use Putty sometimes at work. Even though I have secure CRT, I still use it when I'm doing a lot amount of work at the CLI, just to punish myself and just to get used to not having, console shock when you get to the real deal. So right now with Eve NG Community Edition, if you use HTML5 console, you click right to console in. But I really need to look into, when I have a little more time, setting up Putty. And probably what I have to do for that is I could use a Windows VM that I have in Azure as well for that. So, but I've deliberately made it hard on myself. The point I was getting to here is, like, look at this address scheme. Like, I've got some really weird, there's no real rhyme or reason here. So I've got on a link, I got 10.254.8.254/31. I've got these loopbacks 10.252.8.26. I just picked it out of the air. I am using sort of a scheme with the first two octets to avoid overlap, but also the areas. Like, I'm just randomly picking areas. This is the Edger P19. This is ISIS area 5678. This is 123. This is 44. Familiarity and a logical system are not what you're likely to get in a real lab. So, you know, it's better to learn to struggle now and come up with coping mechanisms for dealing with that, because, you know, I spent like a year going through the INE Advanced Technology Workbook. I know that topology in my head. Like, I know the interfaces, I know the addressing scheme. I could right now draw that entire 10 router lab environment and build it, you know, in a lab right now and in Visio. I think that's great when you are first learning protocols. That's great. You know, like, you don't want to be focusing on those little details. You want to be focusing on what the protocol is doing. But as you advance and as you've, you know, gone through these protocols, a number of times, then you need to start thinking ahead and, you know, all right, you know, at some point I need to start transitioning and getting ready for what that real lab is going to be like. So anyway, also some of these topologies make absolutely no sense, and that's okay, because what like Tony E and Dude for Him and some of the other folks in our Discord don't know yet is when we start labbing together and creating lab problems for each other and trading them, I'm planning for that now, and I'm going to make this really hard, and I'm going to be reusing this. I confirm that knowing the CCNP T-shoot topology beforehand made the exam easier. I can imagine that knowing the IE topology ahead of time would be of help, but still only dream thinking Cisco would give that out. Yeah, exactly. So yes, they do for the CCNP T-shoot. You can go out there, and that's what I did as well. I built that thing from scratch. I can't tell you how many times. Like, I could do it in my sleep. But with the CCIE, I don't know how many topologies they have, but you have no idea what you're going to get. And they're going to throw some weirdness in there for sure. So it's better to be comfortable operating out of the unfamiliar, right? So yeah, how does OSPF v2 know which LSA types to use when redistributing from multi-protocol BGP? So I did this lab today, and I'll show you. We've got these two customer sites, and this is OSPF area 0 here and here. We're going to provide, as an ISP, using MPLS and AS2091, we're going to connect these sites and allow OSPF to share routing information as if these two were connected by cable, right? Almost that way, not exactly right. So if you're familiar with Multiprotocol BGP and how that works and how it utilizes, you know, it does an adjacency in OSPF, and then you can redistribute into multi-protocol BGP. Those VPN v4 routes will be exchanged, right, in your MPLS. Well, they'll be label switched to your other provider edge, whatever your destination is, and it will go from VPN v4 route. It'll be basically injected into OSPF again, right? It'll be redistributed. OSPF will redistribute the VPN v4 routes. So the question is, how does it know? You know, it has the prefix. It has other information that's encoded in the communities, the extended communities. But how does it know what LSA type it is? Did anyone know? Well, the answer to that is, I actually posted about this on Instagram earlier today because I took a screenshot. See if I can find it. Yeah, so here we are. The way you can tell is by this domain ID type. So this is a number that is generally, here's the value, 0.0.0.2. So that is the route process type 5, or domain ID type 5. If these match, then you know that is intra-area. If they don't, then this will become a external OSPF route. This is called, by the way, of course, the super backbone, right? That resolution's not very good, is it? There's a lot lost there. Anyway, you can read up more about this on Network Lessons. They have a lesson about this that was covered today. Really well done. This is MPLS Layer 3 VPN PEC via OSPF. This is not very common, by the way. So, you know, most people, when they're connecting their, or a lot of organizations, I should say, they're going to have BGP at the edge very often. But you can do EIGRP, you can do OSPF, you can even do RIP. And you need to know how to do it as a CCIE. So, just one other article that was really, Network Lessons, of course, has a great explanation, but this article had a great explanation too on how you leak routes with Multiprotocol BGP. You can do it with either VRF Lite or Multiprotocol BGP. I don't know much about this site, but it seems pretty cool, and I like the illustrations. So, good stuff. Well, folks, that's going to wrap it up for me. Thanks for hanging out with us this evening. Again, tomorrow I'll be posting in Discord whenever I'm ready to start, labbing, and I'll probably do some labs throughout the day. I know I did not do that today, but I'll plan to get better sleep tonight and go to bed early and rise and shine tomorrow and hit it. We're going to hit the continue in the VPN section of Network Lessons. So I want to say goodnight. I want to wish everyone good bits, sending you good bits across the universe, and wish you the best. Hey, you're very welcome, Mark Milo. And wish everyone the best, and y'all have a great night, and we shall see you back here tomorrow. Hey, good night, Dalwin 441. Everyone else in the chat, yeah, man. Good bits. Hey, if y'all are labbing tonight, if folks are labbing or you're studying, whatever the case may be, I hope you have nothing but good bits in your labs. Y'all have a good night, folks.